Well, after a quick turnaround of games, I'm back here again previewing the 13th week from the Barclays Premier League. Now, in the next coming week, the Premier League teams play 3 fixtures in 1 week, so it's going to be very hectic. I'm going to have a lot of videos previewing and reviewing all of the fixtures, as you guys would already know. So let's start off the 13th week here at Villa Park, where Aston Villa will take on Sunderland. And really, I see this game just going one way. Villa are at home, and after last week's first half disappointment against Bromwich, in the second half they did really get their act together and got the 2 equalisers, and really they showed their qualities in the second half. Now, that being said, they're going to be at home in front of their home fans against a weak Sunderland side, and I think that Aston Villa can do the business and get 3 points, and the final score there, I predict, will be Villa 3, Sunderland 0. We'll go for the second game up to Wales, where Cardiff will take on the league leaders Arsenal. It's going to be a very hard game for Arsenal. Cardiff are strategically and technically well gifted in their defensive setup. Malky Mackay has really, I can't praise him enough for how well he's set up his Cardiff side, home and away. And really, last week, if you saw my review, where Cardiff drew 2-2 to Manchester United, they put in a really good shift, a good performance by the whole team. It's going to be hard for Arsenal, but I think really that they have the overall quality. Their quality just far outshines Cardiff, and I think that really if Arsenal can hit Cardiff on the counter-attack, move the ball quickly from one side of the pitch to another and get those quick interlinking 1-2 passes, that they can scrape through and get a really hard-fought away win. And therefore I'm predicting that Arsenal will win 1-0. Going to Goodison Park, where Everton are going to take on Stoke City, and after Everton's really their high performance, really fast-paced Merseyside derby, I think they're going to try in this game slow the tempo down a bit. I'm not sure how well a couple of players would have recovered after that really intense Merseyside derby, but against Stoke at home, I think that Everton can again get a victory for their good performances. I think that James McCarthy and in particular Kevin Morales will have very good games. And of course they've got the ever-imposing Romelu Lukaku, and I think Stoke won't cause them too much problems, and I predict that Everton will win that game 2-1. Moving on to Carrow Road, where Norwich will face the second last place team in Crystal Palace. Now, Crystal Palace won last week, a great away win at Hull, and do I think that they can continue that form? Yes and no. I think that form can continue, but I don't think they will be able to win at Carrow Road. I think this game could be, in fact, a little bit on the dreary side. Norwich may be a bit cautious going forward, and obviously Crystal Palace, who aren't the best side in the Premier League right now, they're going to try and sit back and contain all of Norwich's possession in front of them. And I think that if Norwich don't get a win, which I'm predicting they won't, I think Chris Hughton could be in a lot of trouble. This will be the first game for Palace's new manager Tony Pulis, and I think that he'll get his players up for this game, and I think that they can put in a good shift and a good performance. Therefore, I'm predicting that the game will end 0-0. We'll go to London, where West Ham will take on Fulham. It's a London derby, and 2 of the most struggling London sides will be facing each other. Fulham are doing very terrible this season, and I think Martin Jol could be the next manager to face the axe. And Sam Allardyce, I think from sitting here from abroad, I think that he may be under a little pressure as well. I don't think that West Ham have performed the way in which their fans and indeed themselves believe that they should be able to or are capable of doing. And I think that this game against Fulham, a rival basically, a North London rival, I think that West Ham can actually show that how good they are. They're missing Andy Carroll, but they play that false 9, and I don't think Fulham even though they do get a couple of good chances, don't have that quality in front of goal to finish off those one or two half chances, and therefore I think that West Ham can relieve some of the pressure off Allardyce, and West Ham will win the game 2-0. Therefore, the pressure will be mounting on Yol and his position at Fulham Football Club. Moving on to St James's Park, Newcastle will be taking on West Bromwich Albion, and I think this game can be actually highly entertaining between two mid-placed teams. Newcastle last week, they had an okay performance against Norwich, doing their business in the first half and really backing off in the second. And Bromwich, kind of the opposite. They had a dominant first half, but then it was a lackluster second half in which they drew. So I think that both teams are full of quality players. Newcastle, you likes of Tim Krul in goal, who's been absolutely fantastic over the past couple of weeks. Up front for Bromwich, you've got Shane Long, who scored a brace last week, and he's in form as well. And I think that really these two teams will kind of cancel out each other. And I'm just predicting that it'll be an entertaining game, but it'll finish 1-1. On to Sunday's games, where we'll go. The first game for Sunday will take place at White Hart Lane, where Tottenham Hotspur will face Manchester United. Now, Tottenham, we all know that absolutely pathetic and insipid performance they put in last week against Man City. How well are they going to back it up against Manchester United? Remember, Manchester United just a couple of hours ago thumped 5 past Bayern Leverkusen in the Champions League and guaranteeing their place in that, so they'll be on a high. And Tottenham are coming off the lowest of all lows. To add to that misery, I've read a report that their striker and one of their fan favourites, Jermaine Defoe, has actually already signed a pre-contract agreement with the MLS side Toronto for £90,000 a week. So it looks like in January they'll be losing another player. However, in this game, I think that Andre Villas-Boas really wants to get his message across to the players. They need to stand up, and if they want to be considered, a title-contending team, or in fact a top 4, they need to get results. I don't think they will be able to win. I think Manchester United are too much in form, and they'll just continue to run this hot streak. I think that, again, both teams are very equal, and they'll kind of cancel each other out. Again, another entertaining game, but I think that it'll finish Tottenham 1, Manchester United 1. The third last game will take place at the KC Stadium, where Hull City will face Liverpool. Now, Hull City last week were at the KC, and they lost to Crystal Palace. And Liverpool, we all know about that Merseyside derby. So I think the roles will kind of continue in that Hull won't have that good of a performance at home, even though I've said many weeks that Hull are a better side at home. They've just gone off the boil a bit in the past week, and Liverpool will feel that they kind of let that Merseyside go. They can feel fortunate for some aspects, but I think that they'll know, and so will Brendan Rodgers, that his team has more quality than Steve Bruce's Hull, and that they really should be able to get the business done, and I think they will, and I believe that Liverpool win 2-0. Going back into London now, at Stamford Bridge in particular, where Chelsea will face Southampton. Now, this is the second week that Southampton have faced a London club. Last week they lost to Arsenal, and this week, unfortunately for Saints fans, I think that they will lose to Chelsea. The fact being that Chelsea, Mourinho, they put in a terrible performance against FC Basel in the Champions League, where they lost 1-0, and I think that Mourinho won't tolerate that and will not like that at all, and he will want to stamp his authority against a Southampton team that's rated by many, myself included, a really good squad. I think that Chelsea will come out all guns a-blazing. You can expect their talented players such as Eden Hazard, Juan Mata, whether or not he starts or not is a different story. Oscar Etu, who I believe is injured, so he might not start. But expect all their quality players to be on the ball, directing the traffic, and getting the goals for Chelsea. And I think that they will, and therefore I believe Chelsea will win 2-1. The final game will take place at the Etihad Stadium, the home of football for City, where all other teams going there fear because they don't want to be thumped by Manchester City. But the last fixture is Manchester City versus Swansea City. That being said, Manchester City did had kind of an iffy tie against, I don't know how to pronounce this team, this Russian team in the Champions League, where the final score there was 4-2. Joe Hart did start in that game, and he made a couple of crucial saves for City. But again, against, let's say, poor-ish opposition in Swansea, I think City overall just have the better defence, better midfield, and up front, they're probably one of the best in the Premier League, if not in world football right now. Aguero, Negredo, Nasri are all firing on all cylinders, and I think that Swansea will just be the wrong team to face Man City at this current time, and I expect City to absolutely dominate Swansea and win 3-1. So those are my predictions for the 13th week in the Barclays Premier League, remembering that there's going to be a couple of heavy loaded fixtures in the next week or so, and my channel will be pumping out videos left, right, and center, so keep up to date. I hope your team does very well, and again, I'll see you very soon for my review video. Thank you very much, and goodbye.